Hi, it's Anne here, and today's video is all about Sephora because the Sephora sale is coming up. I have done a video like this in the past. Instead of doing like a what do I recommend to buy at Sephora, what's actually in my basket for shopping at Sephora. I mean, there's a while there where I was kind of like quasi-boycotting Sephora, and I kind of still am. Like, I'm still very limited in what I buy from Sephora, but this particular video is just basically a fantasy shop. Basically, I didn't look at the prices of anything. I just picked a bunch of stuff that I was like, I'm interested in this. I think I want to put this in. So it's just like totally fantasy shop. So if you're on a low buy, if you're on a no buy, if this is going to be triggering for you because it's like tempting, feel free to exit the video now. I'm totally okay if you abandon ship at this point. I know that feeling sometimes, staying away from temptation. I haven't watched really anybody else's videos except for, I think, Andrea Matillia Hanno had a video, and I actually didn't even finish it yet. I watched some of it. So that was kind of a little bit of an inspiration for this video, although obviously this is like extreme version. So this could be a long video because I have a lot in the cart, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So I guess I should actually go to the Sephora website. I do have my computer right in front of me, so yeah, hopefully my typing doesn't shake the camera too much, and that's why I'm going to be looking down most of the time, because I'm looking right at my shopping cart. Actually, I will, let's scooch over on this side, go over here, and I'll put the pictures up over here on this side of the screen. This is in no particular order other than this is the order that this is in my actual shopping cart. So the first item is the Vegamour Grow Hair Serum for thinning hair. So I've talked about this before, not too long ago. My hair has definitely been thinning a little, not a lot, but a little, like enough for me to be a little concerned. Part of it, I think, is coming from bleaching and dyeing my hair a lot recently. I went to the hairdresser back in, I want to say it was like, it must have been February, and she actually commented on my hair being a little on the thin side, and I was like, huh. I haven't really had anybody comment that to me before, so that sucked. I'm very paranoid too, like on my dad's side of the family, definitely a thinning hair problem. My grandmother, like my dad's mother, had very thin hair. I'm like knocking on wood that I am not going to follow that side of the genetics. My mom's side of the family is definitely much more follically endowed. They definitely have more. All of my uncles had a full head of hair. My granny, my mom, like my aunt, everybody, like, you know, no real balding issues. But I am like a mix of genes with my parents. Take after both sides. So let's just hope the mom side is a bit stronger than the Murray side from the dad side. But that's why I'm intrigued by this product. There's not too many hair thinning things that are targeted to women in particular. So I am curious to try this. It is expensive. It's $86.50 Canadian. I know I talked about this being a fantasy shop. This is likely, though, an item that I am going to buy. So there is stuff in here that I am looking at to actually buy. And this is one of those things that I'm pretty confident that I do want to buy it during the sale to give it a shot and see how things go. Next up is the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Ultra Fine Mist. So this is not new. So yeah, what's in my cart is a mix of new and not new. This is not new. I don't know if I've ever actually tried the facial mist. I've tried the BHA, the niacinamide drops. I'm not sure what else I've tried from Glow Recipe, but I've wanted to try this for a while. I can't recall if I've actually tried this. This is part of my like wanting to get something that's a bit more moisturizing. I did try and buy a facial moisturizer from Winners. That was a bust. It actually makes my skin feel tighter after I use it. It was not hydrating whatsoever. So I am using it to finish it, but obviously it's not a repurchase, and I am looking for something to fill that void. I still feel like I'm missing, like normally I again use it when I'm like walking the dogs, because it's like I'll wash my face and then just spray something like this before I go out, because I don't want to do like full skincare, but I don't want my face to feel tight while I'm going out, particularly in the winter. Now it's kind of like generally it's before I go to the gym. So when I like come home from work, I like to wash all my makeup off before I go to the gym, because I used to always go to the gym right after work. Now I have a bit of a delay. Like I go later or I go first thing in the morning, but it's like one of those things like I just want to clean face, but I don't want to put a heavy moisturizer on before I'm working out and like sweating my butt off. So I feel like this product might be really good. That's kind of what I'm thinking about getting. There is 1 or 2 more of these in my cart, so obviously I wouldn't buy all of them. But again, if money was no object, I would buy all of them so I could play and test with all of them. The next item is the Super Goop Bestseller Starter Kit. So I have tried, I think it's the Unseen Sunscreen that I have, a very tiny little bit of that left. I just would like to try these, and I like that this is like a mini set, and like the size of these minis are really good for travel for me. I feel like they'll be handy, like they're what, 20 mils for the little one, and the full size one is 30 mils. So all of these could be, not full size, I don't even know if that's a full size. They could all be put, like, I can take them traveling in my carry-on. So that's kind of why I'm intrigued by this set particularly. And I do know I like the Unseen Sunscreen, so I definitely would like this. Again, this is a kit that's kind of on the, like, I probably will buy it. It's interesting being in Canada, like, people are like, use sunscreen every day, blah, blah, blah. I will fully admit I don't use sunscreen every day. I did not put any sunscreen on today. Our UV index is like 0 right now. And living downtown, because you really don't get a lot of sun, like direct sun, unless you're walking like south down Yonge Street for a long, but even then, like with all the tall buildings, it is kind of the downside of living downtown, and the more condos they build, the more big buildings they build, the less sunlight you get downtown. So like my face is not exposed to sun very often in regular days, especially through the winter. So it takes me a long time to go through sunscreens because I generally will only use them in the summertime, like spring, summer, early fall. Now that we're late fall, like I haven't used sunscreen for probably 2 to 3 weeks now. There is like a SPF in my foundation, so like I am getting a bit of sunscreen in there, but that's about it. So yeah, this kit, I'm curious to know, like, the reviews on this are pretty low. There's actually only 7 reviews, and they're not super positive, but I don't know. I'm interested in this one. Maybe for dollar value, it's not that great. The next item, the only reason why this is in my cart is because I have the Hourglass Confession lipstick, like, holder, and I just need to buy a replacement for it because I had to throw out the lipstick I had in there because it went bad. I am slightly paranoid that if I buy something, it's going to still be bad because I don't think they're making these anymore. They don't seem to be very popular. Noticing very low color selection on Sephora as well as on Hourglass, as well as I was checking out Beautylish. So I feel like these are being like phased out. So like I'm not even sure if it's worth, just because I have the like outer packaging, is it even worth buying a lipstick for it? Like I kind of want to buy it, but then I'm afraid that it's just going to last like maybe a year and then it's going to be bad. The color I picked was I Feel. There is a different color that I wanted, but I can't find it anywhere. I think it's the one called I want to say I'm Addicted, might be, but I don't seem to find it in like, or maybe it's If Only. Oh, and I've Never was definitely one of them, I think. There was a few that I had tried. I actually did like a swatch test like way back. I want to say it was last year now. Maybe it was in this wintertime this year. And I unfortunately forgot to write down the colors. So I was like, I'll remember it. Yeah, no, I just never did. So this is kind of like a maybe item for me. And the only reason, again, why I want to buy it is because I have the case. But that's probably a dumb idea. Next up is the Rare Beauty Mini Blush and Luminized Trio. I didn't buy this last year. I did want to buy it last year. I passed on it. This year, like, I'm kind of interested in these colors. Like, they're very warm, but they're very intriguing to me because I feel like the colors are definitely, like, very unique. Like, all 3 colors. Like, sometimes, like, I think this was the thing with the kit last year, or, like, some of their kits. Like, the blushes are too similar, so you don't get enough variety. But in this case, I feel like the colors are quite nice. So I am, again, contemplating this one. And I do know that these will last like a freaking lifetime if I buy them. Next up is another Rare Beauty item. So again, been eyeing this for a really long time. This is not new. This is an item that kept selling out. One of the like detractors for me from ordering this is everybody that gets it ordered and shipped, it breaks. So if I do pick this up, I will pick it up in store. I've toyed around with what shade I would buy. Like, would I buy the Cold Champagne, the Champagne Gold, or the Rose, what is it, Rose Bronze? Is that the other shade? I definitely am not interested in like the true gold or the deeper tones. So I don't know. I don't know what shade I would pick out. I've been kind of looking at the champagne gold because it's not too gold. It's not too warm, I don't think. Kind of looking at the swatches. I feel like it's a nice in-between color. So that's definitely on the radar for sure. Then on the Rare Beauty, I'm very intrigued by Rare Beauty. So I was in Sephora a few weeks ago and just kind of looking at stuff. And Rare Beauty is one of the brands that's actually, quote unquote, slightly more affordable. Like it's a bit more reasonably priced than most other brands now. So it's intriguing me a little bit more. It's making me look at the brand a little closer and be like, what else do you have that I'm interested in? This is kind of an oddball set, but I don't know. I'm drawn to like the packaging of this. I'm drawn to the name of this. It's called the Mini Find Comfort Lotion and Fragrance Set for $41. Basically, mini fragrances here are around $40, so it's like getting the lotion for free. So yeah, like the scent, I don't know if I would like this. I'm still like, I haven't smelt it, so I don't know what it smells like. The scent notes are lemon zest, jasmine, and warm cashmere. So it could go one of two ways for me. I could really like it or I could really not like it. But I don't know, I like the sound of it. Like comfort, comfort. I like the sound of a comfort scent. I'm all about the comfort scents. That's one of the reasons why I like vanillas, like warm vanillas. This next item would be a repurchase or like a full-size purchase because I've only ever bought the mini, but I want to buy the full size. I was hoping to see like a 2-pack of the standard size because I feel like that's more the way I roll. But I think in this case, I would buy the value size. I feel like it makes sense to just buy the value size. I haven't done the math yet to see, but I'm assuming as of this point that the value size makes more sense. Because it's not something that's going to go bad quickly. Like you can definitely use it all up. And I use setting sprays. I didn't actually say what this is. This is the One Size by Patrick Starr On Till Dawn Mattifying Waterproof Setting Spray. So I definitely would use this up, like no problem. I have the mini. I do like the mini because it's good for travel. And I probably will end up purchasing a mini again, but I do want to purchase this in the full size. I like it. I think it actually does work compared to some other setting sprays that I've used. And then again, in the same vein, if money was no object, I would continue to buy my all-nighter double pack, which this one I still might buy because I am on my second all-nighter. I did buy this a couple of years ago, so I am on my second one right now, which I haven't really been using a whole lot because I've been trying to finish out my LYS one, which I'm getting close to finishing, which I think I might finish by the end of the year. So it would be good timing to pick this up because I've started using the second one already. So it's not fresh, but it'll be cracked open and I'll be using it. So picking this up as my like replacement. So this one's definitely still like in the running to stay in the cart. Like it's a practical item for me and it's basically my favorite setting spray. This next item is a super luxury item. And I'm tempted by everybody else. This is the Yves Saint Laurent Candy Glaze Lip Gloss Duo Set. These are expensive to start off with. I don't know how much they cost individually. I should look that up. So an individual costs $57. So this is definitely a deal, if you want to call it that. It is a deal if you were going to buy two. These are the viral, like everybody talks about them. They look really good. They look like something I would love. But holy heck, like at $78 for a lip gloss, I don't know if I can do that. Or lip balm. It's like a lip balm gloss hybrid type product. But man, do I ever want this? This is something like, if I was magically gifted, I would be thrilled. But yeah, no, that's probably not staying, but definitely part of the fantasy shop. The next item is kind of like something I've been toying with buying the mini, and this is not in a mini, but when I saw they have the new shade, I'm like, ooh, I'm intrigued. It's the Kosas Cloud Set Baked Setting and Smoothing Talc-Free Vegan Powder. I've been toying getting a mini of these, but then when I saw that they had this pink shade called the color is called Candy, I was like, I'm interested in that. I do have a pink loose powder from Danessa Myricks, which I'm not gonna lie, I haven't used a whole lot. I'm not a big loose powder person, so that's why I feel like this being a pressed may be a better route to go. I know that there is the Huda Beauty press, but that one had like really bad reviews. Everybody likes the loose powder one, but not the pressed powder one. So I just skipped the pressed powder one, but I'm wondering if this one might be better. But this, again, is pricey at the full size. It's $49. And the mini that I was looking at is $24.50. which, like, I mean, to me, that should be the price of the size. But at least I know with the mini, I would use it up. It's, like, not excessive in my collection. It's unfortunate the pink doesn't come in a mini. I'd like to see if that pink would come in a mini, and then I would be more tempted to buy it. Back to fantasy shopping. I've always wanted one of these palettes. This is a Dior Backstage eyeshadow palette. These are way too expensive for what they are. They're $70. I mean, when you add it up, like, that's less than, it's like, what, $8-ish, about $7 a shade. But, like, and if you're buying individual shades from, like, ColourPop, like, the individual Super Shocks are $7. So it is equivalent. But for a palette, it just seems expensive because normally you don't, like, spend that much on, like, a 9-pan palette. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I always find. Like, singles can get expensive, but you expect the value to be a lot lower. Anyway, we're not talking about money in this video. It's not really about the money. This is just, I really, really like this palette. The one that I had originally was looking at was the Smoky Essentials. And then I saw this one and I was like, oh, this is really pretty. And this is right up my alley. You've got that sort of pinky purple row in the middle, the bluey gray row at the bottom, some neutrals at the top. Like, this is Anne in a palette. Like, this is such an easy palette for me to, like, pick up and play with. And I'm so drawn to these colors, and it would pair really nicely with a lot of other of my favorite palettes. Like, I'm thinking the Viseart palettes that I really love. So again, if money was no object, this is definitely something I would like to buy. Probably not going to buy this, though. Just putting that out there. Next item is the MAC. This is actually a double lipstick, and I am really excited about this, and I'm hoping this doesn't sell out. I feel like it's going to sell out, and I'm kind of tempted to just buy it if I see it in store. I was looking for these shades. Well, I was looking for the one shade in particular called Thanks, It's MAC. They're both luster glass. I love the luster glass formula. These shades definitely look like my kind of shades. They're definitely on the lighter side, but I think I would like both of them for sure. Syrup is one that I'm like, yes or no. I'm not sure, but it was one that I definitely have thought about. But, like, I couldn't find that Thanks, It's MAC. Like, I've been buying a couple MAC lipsticks over the last couple of years, and that one just wasn't, like, in the sales. So it was kind of sad that, you know, I couldn't pick it up. But yeah, this set is definitely calling my name, and at $34, it actually is not a bad price at all. So this might even be something I pick up before the sale if I can get it in store, because I feel like it's gonna sell out, and I do kind of really want these. Like, I need more lipsticks. I've bought so many this year, and even in last year. But these are two shades that I've wanted, and just not been able to pick up for various reasons. So okay, this is editing Anne here. I have de-influenced myself from this because I went in store and did swatching. So the top shade you'll see, I think that's Hug Me, which I already have. The middle shade is Modesty, which some of you have suggested that I would like. After that swatch, I think I would like. The next shade down is Coffee in My Cream, or Cream in My Coffee, sorry. And then the two other shades, the bottom one is Thanks, It's MAC, and then the top one is Syrup. And I feel like Hug Me and Thanks, It's MAC are very similar, and I prefer the tone of Hug Me better. And I feel like Syrup is that sort of mauve or mauve shade that doesn't pull nicely on me. I think it's one of those shades that a lot of other people like, but I won't like. So I am going to pass on this, but if you do like those two shades, this is a really, really good deal, and it's a really nice finish with that luster glass finish. That's on the radar. Another lip product that I need like another hole in the head, as my father would say, is the Clinique Pop Lip and Cheek Oil in Black Honey. So I already know I like Black Honey. I have the Black Honey like regular lipstick. Like, I don't know if it's called like a sheer lipstick or something like that. But this looks really nice. Like, this is the lip oil. I would never use it as a cheek product, I don't think. But as a lip oil, it just looks so nice. I love the way this color looks. I have a feeling it's going to be good quality. It is expensive, though. $36.50. I hate how in Canada we have these weird 50 cents now. Like, it's weird. It's just weird. So yeah, that's definitely like a fantasy item for sure. Again, another fantasy item is Dior. So I was looking at like different palettes. Like, I have been contemplating getting another face palette, even though I said no more face palettes. Like, I have not bought a face palette in a very long time. They've been like a no-go for me. but I think I'm almost ready to buy one again. And I liked the color story of this one. I'm really trying to buy a face palette that has like a blush, highlighter, and bronzer. Like, it needs to have those three. If it has another couple of other things, cool, but at least those three. So many, like the Benefit one, the one that they released this year, has 2 blushes and a bronzer. And I'm like, no, I want a blush, a bronzer, and a highlight. And they had one, I think it was last year, that was like that, and I didn't get it. It sold out before I could buy it. So maybe it was 2 years ago. I think it was last year, though. So this one has like a nice balance. I like the balance. I was actually brought into this one by, they have a new one. I was like, oh, that's really pretty. Like, it's pretty, but I'm like, I don't know how much use I'd get it at that. And then I flipped over to their like other shades, and the one that's the universal is really, really nice. And I could see myself really liking that universal one. It's got like, you know, shades that are going to work for me. I know it is like a very glowy bronzer. I'd probably use it in conjunction with like another bronzer, and same with the blush colors, but I still think it'd be really, really pretty. And it's actually not a bad price. It's $65. For a face palette, that's not a bad price. Next up is kind of expensive, but I think I would enjoy all of these. So I do believe I have the vanilla, the 28, and then this kit. So it's a 4 kit of the Vanilla Miniature Obsessions perfume set. So they're not the little travel size sprays. I think these are a little bit bigger than the travel size sprays. Maybe they're about the same size. Yeah, no, they are the same size. They're 10 mils, but they're in the cute little bottles instead of like the longer ones. Although I think they might be dabbing bottles, not spraying bottles, which is not the best. But anyway, it's all vanilla. And like I said earlier, I like vanilla. So I definitely would like this. Like, again, this would be a fantasy item for me. Not necessary at all, but I definitely think I would enjoy this for sure. Like, this would be like if somebody gave this to me as a gift, I would love it. Kind of pricey though. Again, another thing that I just feel like is so overpriced for what it is, but I do really like the scent, and I do like the quality of the products. This is a Rio de Janeiro, Sol de Janeiro Rio Body Retreat. So it comes with a body wash, a Boom Boom Cream, and the 62 spray. Again, do I need this? No, but would I enjoy it? Sure would. And at $65, it's not that bad of a price, considering the full size would be more. I wish the set just had the spray. Like, perfect set for me would be the full size body cream and the mini spray. Like, that would be perfect. They don't sell that though. But that would be like the ideal set in my head. Next item is something that I've talked about in the past, that it's definitely on my radar. I really like the Danessa Myricks Beauty. Like, I'm, again, very intrigued by it. It's definitely more in the better price range for some of the items, not others. But I have always enjoyed everything so far that I've got from Danessa Myricks. So I do want to try the Yummy Skin Smoothing Serum Tint. I think this would be right up my alley. Like I've talked about, I'm really kind of leaning away from full coverage foundations, except for when I'm filming, because today my face was very red. After I got out of my shower, it just would not calm down, so I had to use like some green color corrector, as well as like it's fairly full coverage, the CoverGirl matte. It's in my Project Pan foundation. So yeah, I think this would be a really good everyday thing for me. It's hard for me to figure out what shade though, because everything is just cool warm or neutral, and I'm like, I'm not either of those. I'm cool tone, so I'm a little worried about picking this up and the color match not really working for me. But since it's a skin tint, it probably would be okay. I think the first shade is just too light, and it says golden, whereas shade number 2 is probably the right one for me to pick. The next item has been on my fantasy shopping list ever since I've heard about it. This is something that I've seen a few people use, and I would definitely pick up the first color, like the shade 01 Fair. Even though I do like bronzers and I like a lot of darker bronzers, this shade would balance out, like it wouldn't conflict and overlap with other shades that I have. It's the Gucci Sunkissed Glow Bronzer. It's a whopping $88. So probably not going to ever buy this. I shouldn't say not ever buy this, but if I do buy this, it's going to be like a treat item to buy, because that's very expensive for a bronzer. Just a bronzer, almost $100. This other set is also a fantasy shop for me. I actually wish I had bought the trio that they had. So Westman and Atelier last year, the year before, had a trio. Again, blush, bronzer, and highlight. I'm like, that's such a great balance. They don't have any sets like that right now, but they do have this one that has a bronzer, a blush, and a mascara. Again, $82, way too expensive. But it is such a cute little set, and I do really like the shades of the blush. Or sorry, it's a highlighter, not a bronzer. I do like the shade of the highlight and the blush. I think they're both really pretty. It does overlap, excuse me, with stuff that I already have pretty much, so... well, the highlight's a little different, but the blush, I'm pretty sure I have those shades in other colors. But it's such a cute little set. Again, like, talk about like a nice little luxury gift that would be for somebody. I think it's so cute. So I am in the market for a hair straightener. I had a hair straightener a while ago. I think it just died on me. Like, I don't know what happened to it because I don't have it anymore. This is way too expensive. I mean, it would be really nice to have the T3, but at $200, like, that's not happening. Even at the sale price. I was actually in Winners the other day, a little story time, and I've been looking, because I've been kind of looking at the ones that they have there. So I'll probably end up picking something up at Winners or Marshalls. They have had, what was it called? They've had a few, but I did find in one of them a Dyson one, and I was like, what the heck? I was like, maybe I'll get the Dyson one. It was still like $450, and I'm like, yeah, no. I don't know if anybody could, like, I would have had to have fabulous hair. Like, $450 for a hair straightener just seems so, even on points, like, so we have Shoppers Drug Mart. I could use this points to, like, buy a Dyson hair tool, but that just to me is such a waste of points. I'd rather spend it on something else. Like, I'd rather spend that on, like, I don't even know if you can, but like a gaming console or something. Just like a hair straightener just seems pretty excessive. But this one, I really like this one. The things I liked about this were the settings. I liked that it had the 9 heat settings. You can pick your hair texture, which I think would be, like, again, part of the heat settings. There's also a curl mode, which I'm not sure exactly what that does, but I like that this has just a few settings on it. Some of the ones that I have been avoiding, I don't want to buy one that has, like, the digital screen, because I've heard they can be kind of, like, hit or miss. And so I just don't want to get one with a digital screen. So yeah, the T3 is the one that I would kind of really like. I have seen a T3 curling iron. Like, it was one of the curling, not just a regular curling iron, but like this sort of, like a Dyson one that like kind of spins. But I haven't seen a flat iron yet. So I don't know what the price would be at the flat iron if the T3 was at Sephora, or sorry, at Winners or Marshalls. But anyway, the thing I don't like about, like, I've been looking at the hair tools on Sephora. Like, when I was buying that hair dryer that I bought a couple years ago, I was looking at hair dryers on Sephora because, like, maybe I'll get one here. And I feel like I can show you, like, on the screenshot, it's like incentivize. All the people that try and, like, that do reviews, almost all the reviews on this, on all the hair tools are, like, from product reviews. So people have been gifted the product, and I just hate that. I hate that, like, the majority of them are like that. And it's like, that's why all the hair tools, like, the, like, reviews are so high on all of them. So it's not helpful for picking one. I still got a lot of items here, but my battery is dying, so I'll keep going until my battery dies, I guess. The next item, I love this palette. This, again, if we could put Anne in a palette, this is Anne in a palette. This is the Huda Beauty Icy Nude Eyeshadow Palette. I already have the Rose Quartz, love the Rose Quartz. This is probably very in line with Rose Quartz, so I don't really need this. But man, this is me. This is very nice. Very nice. I would love to get this palette. Love the swatches that I see on this. I'm not going to get it. It's $94. If I do end up getting it, I'll wait, like the way I did with the Rose Quartz. Like, hopefully Huda's website has a sale. Probably not this year, though. Like, I don't think I want to buy it this year because I've just bought so many palettes this year. So we're gonna hold off on this. And I do have these colors. Like, I pretty much have all these colors, I bet, in other palettes. So I don't need this, but I want it, you know? Again, fantasy shop, I want it. The next palette, like, again, $173. I am not buying this, but do I want it? Yes. So this is the Lightwork 6 from Danessa Myricks. I've not really been interested in any of the other ones. Like, I thought they're really pretty, and, you know, if I happened upon one, I would be happy with it. But I feel like most of her Lightworks palettes have leaned green, so I haven't really been too keen on it. But this one has a really nice range of colors. They're very, like, duochrome-like in some of them. It's just very pretty range of colors, and it's not overwhelming green to me. It's, like, very rainbow in a good way. And yeah, so this one definitely, I would love to have this one. Like, I feel like this would be a great addition to my collection. It would be so much fun to play with. It would definitely be amazing to have. But at $173, not happening. But I would love this one. This palette I've kind of hummed and hawed, and I threw it in because it's like, again, money's an object, let's just throw it in. I like some of the shades in this, and sometimes I look at it and I'm like, it's kind of boring. So I don't know how I feel about it. It's the Irma Decay Moondust Space Cowboy Glitter Eyeshadow Quad. It's inspired by Space Cowboy, so none of these shades are actually Space Cowboy. They're different shades. I don't know what the shade names are in this one. Do they have the... So the names are Space Cowboy Rides Again, A-List Energy, Sparkle Hour, and Lunar Lit. So again, the shades are kind of boring-ish, but they also look kind of pretty. Especially that Space Cowboy Rides Again and Lunar Lit. Like, those two kind of intrigue me the most out of everything. But actually, I don't know. They do all kind of intrigue me. I like the way this looks. I'd love to see it in person. I'd love to swatch it to see if it really does have that oomph factor that it looks like it has, but it's hard to tell. But it is kind of expensive again, $53. So again, you're looking at like almost, what is that, math? So $10 would be $40. Oh gosh, yeah, you're looking at like $15 each almost. So that's a lot. That's a lot for each shade. So that's kind of like But again, if money was no object, I would totally buy it. Even if I just only played with it for a little while, I'm like, okay, I'll sell it to somebody else. This next palette caught me off guard. And I really, really kind of want this, regardless of Fantasy Shop, even though it's expensive. So again, I've been looking at the NARS palettes. I've looked at the Hourglass ones. I do like the Hourglass ones. I think the one's already sold out, the light one. Every year I look at the NARS ones though, and they just don't have a good balance between like highlight, bronzer, and blush. Usually it's like the highlight's too gold and too deep, and then the blushes all look the same, and then there's maybe one bronzer. This one to me has such a good balance. They do have a light and a dark, medium to deep. So light to medium and medium to deep. I'm really interested in the light shade. It's got the highlight, the bronzer, and 3 blushes that do look different from each other. And I'm like, I do kind of really want this. Again, if I could see this in store maybe and swatch it and see if I really want it, because it is $81. But again, it's NARS, and NARS, like, they put these palettes out and they never go on sale. Like, you do every once in a while catch them at Winners and Marshalls, but it's luck of the draw. Although knowing me, I would buy this, and then like 3 months later I would see it at Winners or Marshalls. But yeah, just this one, it's like, this is what I've been wanting NARS to do. I've been wanting NARS to have a bit more balance. Have a highlight in there. Have a highlight in there. Everything's just been like blush and bronzer. I'm so happy that this one has, and it's a really pretty highlight too. Like, I think it's a shade I'd really, really enjoy. So this is something that's definitely on my radar. Next up is Sephora collection. So I've talked about these, I think, in the past. I swatched all these so I know what I want for the blush. The Sephora collection blush that I want to pick up is in the shade Self-Made. I've already swatched this. It's like the most boring basic shade, but I feel like it's such an easy shade to wear, and it would just be super practical to pick this one up. And again, at $19, not bad. Like, this is a practical one, and then the Sephora stuff is 30% off. So that's why I've kind of held off on buying this. I did see it a while ago and I didn't buy it. I did throw in 2 Sephora highlighters. Again, I swatched these in store and all of them are pretty. Like, all of them are so pretty. I was like, I kind of want all of them. But I think if I could narrow it down, I would get Iced Pearl and I would get Rose Quartz. Those would be the 2. And then if I had to pare it down between those 2, I think, this one's really hard because I originally in my head, like, Rose Quartz was the first one I went for, but maybe Ice Pearl would be the better one. Editing Anne here, I did swatch these alongside the Rare Beauty one. So the top one near my knuckles is Rose Quartz. The one on the left at the bottom is the Iced Pearl, and then the one just to the right of that is the Rare Beauty one in the lightest shade, which I can't remember what is off the top of my head. But yeah, what I wanted to point out was the Rare Beauty one and the Sephora one are like identical. So if you're looking to buy one, I would recommend getting the Sephora one because it's a better deal. I think Rose Quartz is still probably the one that I would pick because again, I like that pinky, more of that pinky. But man, that Ice Pearl one is really, really pretty too. So yeah, I put both of them in my cart. I also threw in like the most practical thing here, the Tweezerman Pro Curl Eyelash Curler. I like my eyelash curler that I have here with me in the city. The one that I have home at my family home, I don't really like. I think the one I have at home is it's either Sephora or Quo brand, and it's just a bit stiff and not the right shape. And I think this is the one that I have. I should double check the one that I have here, but if this is the one I have, again, not a super expensive purchase at $30, but for an eyelash curler, it's kind of expensive, but I use it every day. So for me, this is not a pricey thing. Like, I would spend $30 on a good eyelash curler if I really liked it, because I use it every day. And if you have a crappy one, you know it's a crappy one. It like pinches your eyelid. You're like, it pulls out eyelashes. It's so annoying when you have a crappy one. When you have a good one, it's so easy. You don't even think about what you're doing. 3 items left. So the first one is, out of the last 3, is this Living Proof Full Shampoo, Conditioner, and Dry Shampoo Value Set. It's funny, I was looking at all the shampoos and conditioners, and like, especially I was looking through all the Living Proof stuff, and I feel like Living Proof, I don't know if it's, I didn't look at the US site, but it seems like in the Canada site they've dialed back, and I don't know what that means. Like, winding down? I don't know, it just felt a little lackluster. But this set, it's the like jumbo size of the shampoo and conditioner. I like Living Proof. I like both the full shampoo and the Restore shampoo. The Restore is in the purple bottle. I have bought the Restore shampoo and conditioner before. And I've definitely used the full shampoo in like, I just used it recently in a sample set. The like dry shampoo in this is just like a gimme. But this is actually a decent price for these, even though it's super expensive at $135, because I was looking at the Restore, and they don't have the same set for the Restore, which is kind of annoying, but the individual shampoo for the 710 mils is like $95 or something. So this actually is technically a good deal, even though they're massive and it is expensive. But for me, like, they would last forever. Like, the conditioner would last me a lifetime. I'm already working on a super large conditioner right now that's like still taking me forever to go through. So, I mean, this is definitely something that I am considering purchasing, even though it is pricey. This will go a long way for me, so it is kind of worth it. Next up, this is kind of coming back full circle to the very beginning where I talked about the Glow recipe. This is the other thing that I was looking at. This is the Clinique Moisture Surge Face Spray Thirsty Skin Relief. I think this is a better thing for me to buy. It's a bit more expensive, I think. Maybe it's not. It's maybe around the same price. It's $43.50. And again, this is a practical purchase for me. I'm not going to kind of reiterate the reasons because it's the same as the watermelon spray. In practicality, I would pick one or the other. In Fantasyland, I would buy both because why not? And then last up in here is the Nest Madagascar Vanilla Body Mist. So I did have the oil perfume when I broke all my perfumes last year that smashed everywhere, which made me so sad because that was my like special treat from Disney World that I brought back with me and everywhere. This is not a bad price at $53 because, like I said, the individual like mini travel sprays now are like $40. So at $53, I feel like this is a pretty decent price. It probably doesn't smell very strong, but I love to layer vanilla with everything. So I feel like this would be a really nice product to layer with all my other products. So I feel like I would really enjoy this. So that, again, this is kind of on the menu to actually buy. So that is my entire list. Let's do some math. Just because I know I said this wasn't about the math, but the math is still fun. Because some people will come on here and that will be like, they'll talk about their haul and like, that's their haul. And you're like, I wonder how much that was. Because people that have hauls that big never actually tell you how much it is. So in Canada at retail price, that price would be $2,139.99. I'll put the US prices on the screen because I don't know what those are. So if we get the discount, although I do know the 3 Sephora items would be 30% off. So the total value would be $1,810.44. However, here, the 15% off is just like basically getting your tax off because our taxes are 13%. So we times that by 13%. My total bill would be $2,045.80. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Let's just look that up, what that would be in American. So the total price with the discount that I have, I mean, obviously if I had 20% off, it would be cheaper. So in USD, see, this is the thing about Canadian American. Sounds so much better in American. $1,472.59. So still stupid expensive. But it would get me into the, like, what is it, the VIP? No, the Rouge. It would get me at the Rouge level if I did buy all of this. Particularly if I was in States. Definitely in Canada, but in both. It would get me there. So, yeah, that's a lot. I definitely am not buying all of that. How many items was it? 1, 2, 3. Well, there's 2 items in that, but we'll just count, like, each set as a 1. 32 items. That would be a lot. That would be a lot of things to bring in. Not to say that I'm not buying stuff on this list. So, I mean, this was fun. There's a lot of stuff on here that I would love to have. A lot would just be for fun. There's definitely a good chunk on here that I do want to actually buy. Like I've talked about, I've sort of boycotted Sephora in the past. One of the downsides here is some of these brands you can only get at Sephora, so I'm kind of hands tied here. But yeah, like, this is just fun. This would be really fun. If someone just handed me a gift card. Now, like, if somebody handed me $2,000, I definitely wouldn't just go and turn around and spend that at Sephora. But if somebody handed me like a $2,000 gift card at Sephora, this is what I would buy. Maybe I would switch up a few things. Actually, that's my question to you. What is on your list if you are shopping it? If you aren't shopping it, you know, sirens, city living. So if you aren't shopping, awesome. Oh my God, more sirens. Yeah. Honestly, like I said, if you aren't shopping, that's awesome. I get it. I definitely, like, not purchased things that's for sale. Some years I've gone maybe a little bit more than others, and there's some years where I've skipped a sale. Not very often, though, I will admit. I'm not entirely skipped a sale, but I've definitely gone super minimal. This year probably won't be super minimal. I definitely am planning on buying a few things here this year. But yeah, I'm super curious to know what's on your list. What is your, like, nothing on here is really repeat purchases. I didn't talk about any of those. I don't think I need any repeat purchases at this point from some of the stuff that I normally purchase, like the Dr. Dennis Gross peel or like facial moisturizer. I don't need those right now, so I'm not going to buy them. But yeah, I'm super curious to know what is on your list in terms of like repeat purchases, or like what's your like fantasy items, or again, like none of the gift sets were really like speaking to me this year, so I'm just not interested in any of them. I didn't put any of the gift sets in my list really. So yeah, anyway, I hope you liked this video. If you did, feel free to give it a little thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel here in Toronto, Canada. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you sometime soon. Bye.